Hi and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the unboxing and reviewing of this very interesting artist drawing sketchbook. It is by Hindustan. These guys are based out of Chennai, where they have an art store for more than I think a couple of decades right now. In fact, I've been going to them for a few decades, so you can imagine how old this place is. So they have their range of sketchbooks which they have come out with, and this is one of them, which is A6 size. It has 30 sheets and it's 180 GSM. So this is for INR 100. So let's check out how the paper is and the kind of artworks that we can create on this. So the cover is nice and the paper inside is pretty good, which is a nice ivory, and it's a good 180 GSM. It's smooth paper, but it does have like little bit of texture. I hope the camera is able to pick the little texture which is over here. So it is quite nice in terms of the paper quality, and since it's for sketching, I am going to try out something right now. Let's create today's sketch in this, and I'm going to be using some pens. So normally I like to do some sketching directly using some fountain pens. So we'll either try with the fountain pen, or there's a Uniball Air Micro which I use for a lot of illustrations, and we'll also try with some colors, and we'll see how much this can hold. Since it's 180 GSM, I have been using a lot of other sketchbooks which are 180, where you can do a little bit of gouache, you can do very basic watercolors in them, and pencils, of course, it can hold really well. Markers, it may not hold too well. So we'll anyway try it out and we'll see if it all bleeds through this or not. So I've got my pencil, I've also got my fountain pens which I use a lot for sketching, and since this is nice compact size, I want to try out all the different things that I have, and you'll also get an idea to understand if this will suit your needs. So I'm going to use a pencil first to create some very basic lines, and then we'll use all of these different pens, and since all of them are waterproof, I can use them directly. So I'm going to create like a very cute camel with some googly eyes. It's got two humps and a cute tail. Maybe I thought we should give it a hat, but maybe no. So I want to create some floral designs around it. So I'm going to just create some flowers, some leaves, maybe these have some tiny leaves sticking out of them, and some more flowers here. I'm just using one type of flower. So it's easy to draw something on top of this, that way it's not too difficult at all. I'm able to draw it quite well. So now I'm going to add some details with my pen. This is my Lamy Safari. I use this quite extensively, especially for sketching. I absolutely love this pen. And the ink that I'm using inside this is waterproof. I'm using Noodler's ink for this. You don't have to necessarily use the same art supplies as me. I'm just showing you like artwork using the supplies that I have, so that it can give you a wide variety or knowledge of the things that you can create, and you can understand if this will suit your needs or not. There's a very beautiful bird outside my window which has been singing from morning. It's so cute to hear that. I'm not sure if you can hear it. We'll also use maybe some color pencils and see if it can hold that. The texture of the paper is quite nice, like I'm able to draw very easily in it, so that's a big plus. Sometimes what happens when you're using fountain pens is there will be a little bit of bleeding, or it'll just be, there's also something called feathering. Like you can see on the other side, there's absolutely nothing. You can't see it at all. And even if I like bring it close by, you can see that everything is so neat and clean. It's not spreading. So feathering is where the ink will start spreading on the paper. So thankfully that's also not happening. So once you draw, make sure that you wait for it to completely dry out, the ink. Otherwise, if you're going to use watercolors directly on it, then it'll spread in that. Or if you're going to erase the extra lines, then it's going to become so dirty and messy because of the ink which is not dried out. So while this portion dries, I'm going to take my other fountain pen and we'll create the border with that. So this is my Sailor Feud or Feude. And I really like this pen because if I'm going to be doing outdoor sketching, it gives me like a lot of spontaneous lines, which I enjoy creating. So this is basically for calligraphy, but I use it only for sketching. So I don't do calligraphy. In fact, I think it's one of the most difficult things to do because I also don't have patience for that. So I can't get myself to sit down and do calligraphy patiently. Okay, so here I've got these things. We'll just probably do a little bit of details with this pen also, because these are primarily the most common ones that I use if I'm going to be doing any kind of sketching in my studio or outside. So I want to make sure that this paper holds all of them. Alright, so I'm going to wait for this ink to completely dry off, and then we will use an eraser, remove all these marks, pencil marks, and then we will do some very basic watercolors and see whether our paper is able to hold it. Time to erase all the pencil marks. I'm using a putty eraser or a kneaded or kneadable eraser because this is dust free. Absolutely no dust will come out of it, and it doesn't leave any dust residues on your paper, which becomes really difficult if you have to paint on top of it. Alright, so I'm going to now get out my paints and we'll create something. I'm using my white nights for this. I really like this palette. I love the vibrant colors which is there in it, and since I can maximum do only one or at the most two coats, I think it's better to use this. This kit is really old, this set. I think it's about 3 years old, and I really like using the colors from that, and you can see how vibrant the colors still are even after so many years. So that's one advantage of buying good quality pigments. Sometimes we keep wondering if we should spend money on buying art supplies which are expensive or not, but I think once you know, you're sure that yes, you are going to use that particular medium for a while and you're going to create some things out of it. It doesn't have to be always something that you do professionally. It can just be something that you're doing for a hobby, just for yourself. So I think in that case it really makes sense for you to get some really nice art supplies. Just one or two. You don't have to get everything. In fact, I have like the 24 set. You don't have to get the 24 set. There is a 12 color set. You can just get that one. The color is very vibrant. So I did a little mistake over here, but you can see like it really doesn't matter. So now I am adding some. I'm doing a little bit of gradation to see if that works. Like the back leaves, I want to have it a little lighter, darker, sorry, and the leaves on the top will be like a little lighter. So the little gradation that I'm doing seems to be working fine. My paper is not like crumping or curdling. So while I was filming this, I had to rush for an important call. So I left this midway. So let's see if we're able to fill this in. And that's quite nice. So I like that I'm able to do some very basic washes. And my paper has also not got damaged. I'm trying like a little bit of second layer, trying to see if I can do some more detailing. Alright, so now time to add the flowers. I think I will add something in a nice blue. So I'm going to use this sketchbook for probably doing my daily sketching, or a little bit of like if I'm going to go out travel and I'm not going to carry a big bag, then I think in that case this will help me to carry a really small one. Since I'm used to doing 180 working on 180 GSM, I'm able to manage the watercolor flow. So if you're trying to try this out for the first time, then just remember, don't use watercolors in your regular way where you would use a lot of water. Please use as minimal water as possible. If you use a lot of water, then you are going to be in for trouble, because you really wouldn't be able to handle the amount of water that's needed. So this is good for light washes. So I'm using some color pencils over here, and then we'll probably add some background color also. I'm thinking I'll add a nice maybe pink. Oops, I didn't add the color for the camel's ears, and also the other leaf at the back. Okay. Alright, so now time to add the background color. So normally I like adding a nice yellow, but since in this particular one we already have like a very beautiful color for the camel, which is like a yellowish, so I'm going to add like a pink background. You can also do the background first and then add in your foreground colors. I'm just having fun with this today, and it's feeling very good. I'm quite happy with the paper. Like I said, for light washes it's very good. I'm also going to do some gouache experiments with it over the next few days, and put the videos up over here on my channel. So if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to it so you can see the new videos whenever they come up. I add a video every day. Some of them would be shorts, some of them would be tutorials. So you'll get tutorials thrice a week on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and on Sundays. And every the other days when there's not going to be a tutorial or an unboxing video, then you will get videos in the format of shorts. So you will get content every day. I love creating art. I think it's one of the most beautiful things to do in life, and I'm just so grateful that I'm able to create and feel so much of joy with doing this. The background is coming out quite nicely. I'm just adding a little bit of darker color here and there so that it's not looking too monotonous. Also, once this dries out, we will check how the backside looks, whether this has bled through or it hasn't. So I'm going to wait for this to completely dry out right now, and then we will see what happens in the back. My watercolor paints have dried out. I'm just going to add a little bit of detailing with color pencils. I am able to add, like, it's not that easy to add this because it's still like a little wet. Like you can't touch and then get the color out, but you can like feel it a little bit, but it's okay. Just going to try and see if I can add some details on top. So when I'm trying to layer so much, it's not really working so well. I think it has to like 100% obviously dry for these details to work, but I think at the most just go with 2 layers, not really more than that. It's still quite really nice. I love the effect of it. The colors are so bright and pretty, and like it's not fading away. Sometimes your paper will not be very nice, and your end colors when it dries would not be good to see. It'll fade away. So let's see how it is at the back. It has not bled through. My paper is pretty stiff. There's a little bit of like it's caved in a little bit here and there, but that's also because it's not 100% dry, and I'm pretty sure from my experience I can tell you that once this like, you know, when I close it and I keep it and I come back to it, it's actually going to be pretty perfect. So if you are looking for like a nice compact book, A6 size, this is absolutely perfect. I would 100% tell you to go for this one. This is 180 GSM, A6 and 30 sheets, so you get like 60 good sides. And yes, you can use both the sides of it, especially if you're not going to be doing a lot of layering. I would in fact recommend you to use both sides so that you can practice a lot of different things and then you can have fun with it. So today we tried a lot of different art supplies on it, from fountain pens to microns to color pencils, regular pencils, and even watercolors. So I'm quite happy with this. I hope today's video was useful for you as well, to understand if this fits your needs and to know if you should get this. For 100 rupees, I think you should get it. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. I will see you soon for the next one. Bye bye.